yourself.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Konowitz, and with me as always is the James Corden to my David Letterman, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me.
That's it?
He said James Corden, not Russell
Brand.
No, this is Russell Brand. I want to tell you a story.
Is that young Michael Caine?
No, this is James Corden. He likes to go and do couple karaoke. I want to sing with you, Ariana Grande. I'm in Cats.
That's Ringo Starr.
Yeah,
that's Ringo Starr.
No, this is Ringo Starr.
Okay, that's
the best.
All right.
Of the three you've done, that's the best one.
I got
far.
British voices, bitch.
Well, you got
one British
one
voice.
British voice. All right, and the Conan O'Brien to my David Letterman, Nate Loucks.
I listen to Conan every week, and
That's
I
your
don't
Conan O'Brien.
know.
Not good on his feet.
I don't
Well,
know.
Conan honestly is
The closest thing is the hair.
It's pretty gangly.
Yeah,
He's tall,
exactly. Tall, gangly,
Very
he's
white.
got
very pale.
I am very white. Yeah,
He
so
watched
I
The Simpsons.
Yeah,
and also likes to laugh.
yeah.
A little bit cynical.
You know what? And honestly,
some books occasionally.
if I wasn't here, he'd need a best friend.
He had the Tonight Show taken away from him.
Yeah. To the
Cool,
Jay Leno.
cool. Do you want to just read more off his Wikipedia?
I don't need to read Wikipedia. I just know these
I
things.
do wish you would have went to Jay Leno to the Conan.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I'm just doing.
Because he
the,
does the Jay Leno.
Did you just rewind yourself?
He just does the Jay Leno.
But I'm doing the James Corden is the worst host, and then David Letterman is the best, and then Conan's probably second.
Hey, Ben. That is a Jay Leno.
Right there.
Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. Yeah, but this.
You could have given him Carson.
Carson doesn't hold a candle to Conan
Carson
O'Brien.
Daly does does he have a
Carson Daly sucks, by the way.
Yeah, he's on the
talking
morning.
about
He's on
Johnny
the Good Morning
Carson.
America.
Oh, I thought you were saying Carson Daly.
too. Because we did
Off air, just talk about Carson Daly.
No, I'm talking about
and how
Johnny
you and how,
Carson.
No, and how you wanted his life.
What was the name of Carson Daly's show? Was it On Air Live with Carson Daly or something like that?
Oh yeah, act like you don't know.
Yeah,
That's clever.
Go on.
Yeah.
What was the name?
What was it like? On air with Carson Daly tonight, and it was at 12:30 on ET or whatever.
E.T.'s a movie.
Oh god.
Entertainment Tonight.
That's a show, not a channel.
Don't they have their own channel?
No, E has a channel.
Oh, that's what
no,
it is.
the
Yeah,
show
E.
was Total Recall or Total Request Live.
That's not.
Last call.
Last
with
call.
Last call, Carson Daly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Went
There
from
we go.
2002 to 2019.
Wow, 17-year career for that man, and then he's still doing something though.
He still hosts The
on-
Voice.
I don't know anything about.
Well, no,
reality
I think
television.
more
hosts, like-
importantly, he's on the Today Show.
Well, I don't think more importantly, because I'm pretty sure The Voice is like a bigger
Does
deal.
anybody watch The Voice?
Yeah, tons of people still watch The Voice. It's like the super
you watch The
popular.
Do
Voice?
more people
No,
watch
my
the,
mom watches The Voice though.
the Today Show than The Voice?
Not anymore.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Brad talking shit about the Today Show. Doesn't care about Matt Lauer.
Ever since they lost Katie Couric, I've been done.
Hey, fair enough.
Yeah,
That woman was a national treasure.
can't deny it.
Brad, do we have a sponsor this week?
Well, Ben,
By the way, I'm choosing to. I'm not going back on last week. Okay, I don't want to go backwards in time. I don't want to take back anything that I said last week.
it's a good way to start.
But I've told myself that I would be nice to you this episode.
It got a little awkward last time.
I
Like
was
you
being-
guys got mad at each other.
I was being very shitty to you on purpose, and it was fun, and I don't regret it at all. But I think that it's time for a change,
Well, the shittiness,
and I want to be. I
the
want to be
shittiest
better than you.
shittiness got cut out of the podcast because you just decided to take a joke way too far.
Oh, that was just funny.
But Nate here was the one who kept the glue on the ship together. Like he kept it kept it warm.
The glue on the ship and kept it warm?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to choose to be really
My
nice.
glue-
That's a great joke.
my
and
glue
a good,
stays warm.
That's a good analogy,
My
buddy.
glue stays
and
warm.
I'm very happy you made it.
See,
good job.
This is worse. This
Nope,
is worse.
Nope, this is great.
'Cause this
That
is
was
not,
awesome.
That's not genuine and it's
Yep,
creepy.
It was great, man.
No, this is
hey,
like-
I'm sure you brought an excellent sponsor this time.
This
I
is-
can't wait to try it.
this is
I'm
like-
sure it'll be one of the best you've ever brought.
This is like watching a dog hold a baseball mitt and sit at home plate. Adorable.
Another great analogy.
But really unsettling.
Another great analogy, and we're here for it.
I don't even want to do this show anymore. The
Is there anything I can do to make you stay?
kill yourself.
I'd be willing and able, buddy, just for you.
I'm pretty sure you're willing and able, regardless of whether I'm
Another
here.
good joke. You're right. I am.
Piece of shit.
I am.
By the way, for our listeners, we don't do a video podcast, as you know, but Brad is wearing a.
Thank God.
Brad is wearing a.
Right now, you'd be able to
hat.
see Ben with a gun to his head,
Brad is wearing a
which
hat.
is his default position every time we record the podcast.
Another great joke.
Brad's hat says IPM Pools.
And it's bright orange with a white bill. Or sorry, it's a bright orange bill with a white back, and it says IP and Pools in blue letters.
Well, let's be clear. It's also a trucker style hat.
Yeah, trucker style hat. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a good fashion statement, and I like it a lot.
So, and this sounds like a bit, but this is the real hat I'm wearing.
Yeah, no,
today.
I mean this is not a bit.
And you still
Real
have
hat,
not answered, do you pee in pools?
And I said no comment.
which is a yes.
Now, let me ask you something, guys.
What's this peanut pool? What's this peanut pool?
What do you prefer? Do you prefer your pretzels sweet or salty?
Salty.
Nate?
Nobody likes a sweet pretzel.
Well, that's not true, because if that were true, they wouldn't have brown sugar cinnamon pretzels.
I love, dude. Again, great choice putting the thing in your mouth and then talking. I really respect it. And the ASMR is a good one for the podcast, so I'm there for
So
that
what
too.
do you think of the sponsor?
So here's the thing. Ben doesn't know when a joke gets old
No,
real
this
fast.
is really I'm really enjoying myself.
Yeah. This is must be what he feels like when his dad has to deal with him.
Again, you're just firing on every cylinder you have, and I love it. What's the tasty treat, Nate?
Don't look at the bag.
Don't look at the bag. Don't look at the
front of
bag. Don't look at the bag.
Don't you look at the front of the bag.
Don't you look at it. Brad's rule. I respect him.
It's sweet.
It's sweet. But
I have diabetes, and you gave it to me.
it's also a bit salty.
I think I know what this is.
Go on.
What is it, Nate?
Is it creme brulee?
Wrong. What the
Whoa,
fuck
what
was
the
that,
heck was
Nate?
that?
Jesus.
Did that come out of you?
Yeah, it did.
Did you swallow a dragon earlier?
Yeah.
If it's not
I don't like it.
creme brulee, what is it, Nate?
Toffee.
Topping, is it?
It's Southern Pecan, the one that you were so excited about.
Yeah, it's not that great.
They're pretty good, though.
Austin Pretzel Company.
I mean, the pretzel itself is good. I like the pretzel.
Southern roasted pecan, crunchy, bite-sized pretzels drenched in rich butter toffee.
Mhm.
So it's toffee.
Yeah, but the flavor is Southern Pecan, though. He knew it was toffee. I mean, he knew that
He said creme brulee.
because there's another flavor that is
Yeah.
creme brulee. He knows this.
That does have a little bit of a creme brulee. But yeah, I guess
Nate got a little bit of an insider track on the snacks that I get, and
Yep.
he was looking at some of my pictures of things
he-
that I've received.
he
Hey.
shared some with me.
I love that you guys are friends.
I just went over to his house and we were hanging out and
Awesome.
talking about
That's
stuff.
what you should do,
Yeah.
as good friends do.
met my dog.
I don't mind that I
You
wasn't
met my
invited.
dogs.
Don't mind that I didn't
Oh yeah,
get to pet two dogs.
His two big dogs, especially his big fluffy dog. Oh man, it's like if Big Bird was a dog.
Yeah, no, that's something I'd like to see someday, but I'm glad that you guys did it.
You've been to my house
Well,
before he did.
okay.
Yeah, but he like delivered furniture, so it was like a job.
I know,
It wasn't like
and
friendship hanging out.
It was
you know?
absolutely a job.
But like we were friends hanging out.
and you guys were, and
he
I
brought snacks
respected
and
it.
stuff. Like he
Yeah.
brought snacks.
Like I do stuff for my friend Nate.
And he hung out with Finn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm very happy for both of you.
Me and Finn actually have a secret handshake now.
good.
We do a thing where like we put our fists together, but then we pull the pin out.
Male
like it's a
role models
grenade.
of are important, and I'm glad that you're able to be that for Nate's child.
your son said that I farted tonight.
Yeah, one of your sons farted and immediately blamed Nate, and you wonder why you're not invited to Nate's
That was-
house.
honestly, and I'm gonna high five him later because that was awesome. He farted. It was a hard, like a
It
hard
was
fart.
No, it sounded like
It was
trying to
not a
start a
secret.
lawnmower. It was like repeated fart patrol.
And then he goes, "Jeez, Nate." It was great.
And then he goes, "You smell like shit."
Okay, calm down. He said you look like shit.
Both true.
Oh man,
I will say they use less racial slurs than I was anticipating.
come on.
Because usually when you walk in, like you're worried, like you prepared
That's
your ears.
not it at all.
You know how like when you leave the house when it's winter outside and you put earmuffs on because like you know it's gonna be cold. I come in and like with my hands over my ears, like,
Okay.
oh, which racial slur am I gonna hear when I walk in?
And I know I'm only half Mexican, but they clearly use the full word.
Uh-huh.
Again, guys, these are great jokes, but I just got to put my foot down and say that's not what happened. You know it, but I respect the jokes, so they're really funny. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Cause
It's hurting my soul.
It's pretty bad to begin with.
It hurts hard. Like I'm swallowing a lot of things.
I think that's just like your heart, like giving you trouble.
Fuck you. You're a dumpy piece of shit with a stupid hat and a stupid face.
This hat won me an Oscar.
Oh, fuck your Oscar.
Wow, did you hear that? The Great Muppet, Oscar the Grouch.
You got to take home Oscar the Grouch because of your hat?
I won a trophy of Oscar the Grouch at the local hat contest.
I hate to say it, but that's a great joke.
they had a really good hat contest.
A really good hat contest. He just walks in the door. Guys, hold on. There's no for real. I just got back from the craziest hat contest. You know how our town is known for crazy hat contests weekly? Well, this one takes the cake, or the hat, I should say.
Here's the thing: like there were the usual people there of like the Cat in the hat, like a safari hat.
And you know, old Hat Jim was there. You know how he's contesting in all the hat contests.
The weird thing about Jim though is he'll always wear the same hat because one week he's gonna win. Wasn't this week though.
This bit is so fucking stupid.
But I will tell you that the I Pee in Pools hat did pretty good.
It won you the Oscar the Grouch statue that you have been coveting for. Let's call it it's been at least a year.
Yeah, and we did it. So if you're ever in LaPorte County, Indiana, make sure you check and see
the local hat contest is going on.
Contest at the nearby pubs, and they'll get you going.
Oh, we've lost all listeners.
Did you like those pretzels?
Yeah, they're fine.
No, but what did you think of them? Did you?
No, it's not something that I would like.
No,
not even before you had diabetes.
No, I don't like sweet pretzels like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, not for me. Because if I want to waste the sugary sweetness of calories, I want chocolate.
What kind?
Like just a straight up Oreo. That'd be great. I haven't had an Oreo in a month.
Oreo's not really chocolate though.
What is it?
What is it, Brad?
Like when I think chocolate, the first thing I think of isn't an Oreo. It's like a candy bar.
What would you classify the black part of an Oreo?
It's not like regular chocolate.
Okay, but does it taste like chocolate to you, or what does it taste like?
No, an Oreo cookie doesn't taste like chocolate. Nate, do you think an Oreo cookie tastes like chocolate?
I don't know what it tastes like. Like, I mean, there's like a specific.
I would say it tastes maybe like the closest would be like a cocoa.
If you just have the outer not the smush.
No, I know, not the cream.
Just that.
Just the cookie.
It tastes like chocolate to me.
It doesn't taste like chocolate to me. It tastes like because like chocolate to me has like a certain.
Wonderful. What's the last movie that you saw?
Chocolat, actually. And that's how I know an Oreo isn't chocolate, because they have a very specific conversation about it in the movie. You'd know that if you saw Chocolat.
Hey, Nate, did you bring a game?
No, because I thought ChatGPT is doing our games now.
You know what? I could have it make one up right now.
Mm-hmm. And I'll bet it'll be just as good as the last one you did.
Man, it was so good. Everybody remembers that as being like one of the all-time ones.
Hey, here's a math problem for you. Pretty good, right?
I like math.
You pay for monthly to do this.
You pay for monthly to do this. I'm going to get you the grammar version of it, buddy.
I'm going to get you the Nazi grammar version of it. You'll fit right in.
The grammar Nazi version or the
No.
Nazi grammar version?
You heard me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
You already have their speech patterns down.
What?
What is going on?
Yeah, why?
This talk.
He's racist.
I'm not, though.
Nate?
I mean,
that is just too...
Just when you think it's going to go your way.
No, honestly, I'm letting this one right out. Because I'm like, Nate won't say anything that's honestly hurtful.
I didn't say anything. I just said...
Oh, that's enough. Yeah, no, but you not saying anything says everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, I've heard...
There's going to be
I've
one...
heard certain things in this house.
There's going to be...
I've
There's going to be one new listener, and they're going to be like, whoa, never again. I don't like that guy.
I've heard certain things in this house
Oh,
that I would
come on.
not want to get outside of this house.
Oh, my God. And they're from you two.
Not me.
They're from you one.
I've never said anything. I
You
pee in pools, but...
Because you're half Mexican, you can say all the slurs. And I feel like that's just a bridge too far.
No, not all the slurs, just the Mexican ones.
You can say half of them.
Yeah.
You can only say half of them. But
Nate, what's the last movie you saw?
the last movie I saw was a movie that I was assigned by Ben Konowitz.
You didn't watch your fucking assignment. Are you fucking serious?
I forgot.
We made a whole point of assigning them right after we recorded. You texted to confirm.
Because the boys wanted to watch something different every
so
night.
So you say
I
no.
forgot.
That's what the dad does.
Yeah, we watched a bunch of kids' movies, but not the one you assigned me.
Jesus Christ.
I forgot. Whoa.
No.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain in this
Easter's
home.
over. He's back. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah, I fucked that one up. That's on me. That is on me.
You're watching 2 movies for next week.
No, that'll be easy, honestly, because the boys.
Yeah, it's always easy until you don't fucking do it.
I will. I got. Listen, I got tomorrow. I got tomorrow night. We'll watch the Guardians of the Ghoul.
Nope.
Tomorrow.
It's not even. What
Nate, what'd you watch?
I watched a movie from 2013 called Pain and Gain.
Mm-hmm.
This is a film starring Marky Mark and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Anthony Mackie and Tony Shalhoub. If you've ever watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and he had another show, Monk, yeah. Ed Harris, Rebel Wilson, Rob Corddry, Ken Jeong. Lots of people in this film. It is a film directed by Michael Bay. You guys love this film, right?
I respect the hell out of this film.
I think it's a lot of fun.
So I get why you like this film. Like I get why somebody would like this film in that it is Michael Bay. There's a lot of action in this film, right?
It feels a little sharper than your average
Yeah, I was gonna
Michael Bay
say this
movie,
is
though.
not your average Michael Bay film in that way of like we're gonna do The Island.
Yeah, but what it didn't give me is so you've got these 3 primary characters that are criminals essentially, or become criminals. Some of them are already criminals, and the whole kind of film they're trying to outrun a crime that they've committed that they did not finish because they're not good criminals. Right. The problem is
you didn't like this.
So I kept on. I watched it and I'm like, and
I did you like it? I watched it.
No, so I don't know if I did like it or not. Here's the hard thing about it is I watched the whole thing and I didn't not like it. Right, like I didn't like ever want to turn off or anything like that. But I kept on. There was something missing in this film for me, and I think it was because I never fell in love with the main actors. I never fell in love with their characters. I never knew if they were good guys or bad guys.
There is a little level there of like you do need someone in a movie like this to root for, and there's not a lot to root for.
And I feel like they wanted you to a little bit root for Dwayne Johnson at times, But then
they portrayed him a little too dumb. To do that.
But then
right?
exactly. So if you're not going to do that, just make them bad guys. Then, you know.
I don't know. I never have a problem with that because that's a similar to about Ben's thing about cringe humor and stuff like that. Where like I don't feel embarrassed enough to be like, oh, I can't watch that. It's the same thing where like,
don't do that voice.
Oh, I can't watch it.
It's not like that.
Whenever I hear someone say, "Oh, I can't watch that," all the characters are just despicable, and it's like for me, yeah, it's always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's the point. All those characters are pieces of shit. That's what makes it funny.
And as long as it's entertaining,
But they're not despicable enough, though. That was the problem. Is they're not despicable enough.
But isn't that like the flawed human type thing? Where it's like it's fun to watch people like struggling with morality or having their own morality.
Yeah, because for me, if this would have been more of like,
but I don't feel like they struggle with their morality, other than Dwayne Johnson a little bit because he's the Christian in the group, right?
No, but like the idea is like not struggling with the morality. Like so, he's struggling with his morality. Daniel Lugo, played by Marky Mark, has his own morality. Where he's like, this is the United States of America. You earn it. You work
influenced by like influencer culture.
Exactly.
Right?
And so he falls in love with that enough where it blinds him to real morality, right? I deserve this mentality.
I guess what I would have loved this film to do then is to take their influences and then bring that into the film a little bit more. The influencer culture, how it could influence somebody like Mark Wahlberg to do what he's doing.
Well, to be fair, I think
I wish
at the time this movie was made, influencer culture wasn't what it is now.
I mean, they had Tony Robbins, they had these kind of people, right?
But national figurehead culture, not Instagram.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I liked this film, I guess. Like, I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it, but like
for me, I think if it leaned into what you want it to be, it would make it a lot more farcical and obvious than it needs to be.
Yeah, probably. Or what was the film with The Nice Guys?
Yeah.
Right? I wanted this to be a little more like The Nice Guys. And it was not that, right?
Yeah.
It was not that. It could have been a little bit more like that, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it's because I think Nice Guys is also a dark comedy, but I think Pain and Gain is a dark comedy that's a little more dark and not always as comedic.
Yes. Yes, I think so too. There's not a ton of comedy in here, I don't think. There's Michael Bay comedy, but it's not really funny.
No, of course. It's not the same comedy that you're going to get from like a full-on comedy.
Yeah, whereas, like you said, Nice Guys, there's genuinely...
Nice Guys is well written.
Yeah,
and genuinely hilarious scenes in that film. Yeah,
but you're comparing, a Shane Black script to
certainly.
whoever wrote Pain and Gain, which I don't even remember.
Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely.
Oh, you know what movies that they've done?
Do you?
Yeah, tons of Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War. They've worked on Avengers stuff. Tons of Marvel movies.
All right, well there you go, Anthony Mackie.
Avengers Endgame. Yeah, I mean just a ton. The recent one that they did was a film you loved called The Electric State.
I didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
So I mean, I wasn't mad that I watched this film. I'm actually glad I did because I knew this film existed. It has a cast that I think I would have liked.
Yeah.
I
hope one day Ben gets the same feeling that you do by watching a movie that he's assigned that he hasn't seen before.
One thing
I'm gonna watch Guardians of the Ghouls or whatever.
One of the things I will give you props for is Anthony Mackie is very good in this, and I think that's kind of what started this recommendation. Was we were talking about Anthony Mackie,
yeah.
And he is very good in this. He's
that, and I think Ben has always said Mark Wahlberg is an upstanding citizen. He's never done anything wrong.
Oh my God.
Dwayne Johnson, another upstanding citizen, never done anything wrong. Never peed in a bottle or anything.
Oh God, that's it. Come on, you're gonna put him on the same list. So you think that blinding a guy is the same as peeing in a bottle?
Depends on if you're peeing on the guy after you pee in the bottle.
Dismissive are you? How crazy is that you would put you don't think it's a big deal to blind a guy?
Now, you see, he can't even stop defending Dwayne Johnson. He has to defend him no matter what.
I mean, you're just lessening Marky Mark's crimes against humanity.
No, I didn't say they were the same.
You did.
No, you
equated them.
I watched one more film.
I can't wait to hear what it is.
I rented it. It's a film. It's a film starring, or actually, it's a film written by Sylvester Stallone. A new film. Do you know what it is?
A new film written by Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, is it newish in this the last year?
Yeah.
No,
I was going to say Samaritan.
It's a film called A Working Man.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he wrote that. Yeah.
Starring Jason Statham. And
I rented it too.
Did you?
I did.
Not as good as Beekeeper.
It's definitely not.
No, I wanted it to be.
I did,
but
that's why I rented it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "This is gonna be good." I'm ready for the resurgence of Jason Statham.
There was like
how many times did they say "working man" in the movie?
I think once.
Not as many as you want.
Maybe
they grab his hands and they're like, he's a working man.
Yeah, it's just
there's so many little things that are not right. There's just so many little things.
Thank you. Yeah. Right. So I felt that way too. I'm watching this film. I'm like, okay, get to the thing that's gonna capture me in this. I am right. Of course, Sylvester Stallone wrote this, so I'm like, I am writing this script as you go, and I know exactly where you're going. Yeah. And if you're gonna do that, you better make it freaking fun. And you didn't.
Beekeeper was I guess ostensibly paint by numbers. Of course, it's just a revenge action movie, right? It's a very boilerplate. But when you add things like there's a super secret program called the Beekeepers, and he literally is a beekeeper. It's just the farcical elements.
Yep.
And then you make the bad guys really fucking deplorable and easy to hate. They should all burn alive because of what they did. That had that going for it.
Yeah, so you created a little bit of a world with the Beekeeper.
Now take all that away and just do a normal version of that. Yep. A very Liam Neeson take on it.
That's exactly what I thought about. I'm like, this is a Liam Neeson film.
Exactly.
This is very much a Liam Neeson film.
It's a boring version of The Beekeeper.
Yep.
Except because he's not a government agent. He just used to be military.
Yep, exactly.
But there's no elite about it.
But he's a working man.
Exactly. And so instead of having bees to tend to, he has a hard hat.
If this did not come out after The Beekeeper, nobody would have even...
No way.
This would have been direct to video.
Yeah, 100%. So,
and
then there were just...
Do you think it would have been better if it came out before The Beekeeper?
Yes, just because then The Beekeeper would have been better by comparison even more, and I wouldn't be as let down by this film. But there's also little plot holes in it, tiny little things. I remember a scene where there's a bad guy and he's smoking a long cigarette out of one of those tube things that you the penguin did,
Yeah.
right? And he kind of looks like the penguin, and he's smoking it at the table, and they come to get him so he can go like sexually molest a person.
Jesus.
And he puts out the cigarette, and then in the very next scene, he's smoking it again. And it's just a weird little shit like that they just didn't pay attention to.
Well, did he relight a cigarette?
No. It's just the very next scene, and it's taking place 10 seconds later, and he's just smoking it again as he's walking into a room. It's the little edits
People
like that.
light cigarettes pretty quickly.
It does matter though, even in a crap action movie. Like
that's a continuity error.
it is, and there were plenty of those in here, and just the writing. I mean, Stallone, come on, man. Did you use ChatGPT to write some of the script? Because it seems so boilerplate. Like there's nothing going on here.
Well, Stallone's never been one with words.
I mean, Rocky's great.
Yeah, but like Rocky's a man of very few words.
I know, but the movies, he wrote the entire movie, right? All the dialogue for all the characters, and there's some great stuff in there.
That was a younger Sylvester Stallone.
I know.
He was hungrier.
He's not punch drunk. Yeah, so this is punch drunk Stallone writing a working man with Jason, who's honestly still putting all of Jason Statham in his.
He wasn't the problem.
He was not the problem. He never is. He's doing his job.
Did he use construction equipment?
He
to fight?
did. He absolutely did. Of course he did.
Nail guns?
Once.
Nail gun?
In the beginning.
Nail gun?
No.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. As I say, I'm trying to think.
Nope.
I don't remember any nail guns.
He threw concrete. And he almost
There's
used
a lot of
sledgehammer.
hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand-to-hand violence. Oh, and then they tack on the David Harbour as a blind guy who, can shoot a bow and arrow, and if I want you to be dead, you'd be dead. No, you would just shoot him because you're blind and you actually can't see, and you would be dead. So it's just weird.
Yeah, even David Harbour, who I genuinely love. They didn't really use him for.
There's nothing here. Like, so you know what a great use of David Harbour in a movie like this is? Extraction. Right, David Harbour's in that film, and he's an incredible. There is a need for him to be in that film. This is just he's a side character that they used in a trailer to sell more tickets. That's all it is. Piss me off. Don't waste David Harbour.
I don't even remember seeing David Harbour in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
fair enough.
So yeah, don't see it.
Stallone wrote Creed 2, which isn't bad.
It's not as good as Creed 1 or Creed 3, though.
No, nor is it as good as the band Creed, but...
Let's not get
you got
crazy.
me, Nate. You got me there, buddy. I was like literally hanging on your...
Let's not get
crazy.
crazy.
Not as good as what? Like Creed the band. Nice. We're the hounds. What up on?
So those are the two films I saw.
That's it?
I think there's two films.
But did you watch anything else good?
Brad, what'd you see? 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 Brad, what'd you see?
The eyebrows, Nate.
Brad, what did you watch?
Oh, sad. It's a bummer.
I've been working a lot.
Working?
Like a working
man.
man?
In the Christian faith, it was Easter last weekend, and so
like the whole weekend.
Like I don't know if you know this, Brad, but in the Christian
Good Friday,
faith,
Good Friday, and then Easter. So I was busy.
I did ask him.
There's
by
a
the
day
way,
in between there.
This is
it's Holy Saturday.
This is how much that I don't think of Nate as a pastor. I text him on Thursday. I go, "What you up to this weekend?"
I'm like, I got some stuff.
And he goes, kind of busy weekend. And I didn't get it. And I was like, really?
Really? What are you doing?
Do you want to hang out? Like,
because it is so weird being very good friends with a
Nate's
pastor.
like, I just want to see if you want to get brunch on Sunday.
Because I literally do things all the time where I was like, oh yeah, man, it sucks. You work on Sundays.
Every weekend I work. But.
Wow.
So did you see anything fun?
Well, in the Christian faith.
In my faith.
I watched Friday and the Friday after next on Good Friday.
Yeah. Funnily enough, there's only one Good Friday among them, so.
Easy.
What? The sequels aren't very good.
You're just a hater.
White guy over here trying to.
Hey, haters gonna hate.
I bet you love Soul Train, too.
I love Soul Plane.
Huh.
That's what you were trying to say.
That was a good one.
That makes sense.
Because Soul Train's a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
No, you didn't, because you said that you thought it was a
But
movie.
who didn't
no,
like Soul
I
Train?
know what
the
Soul
show?
Plane is. I'm
You
talking
didn't
about
like
Soul Train because a lot of white people pretended like Soul Train to be cool.
That's
Soul Train
absolutely
was cool.
That's revisionist history, and that's bullshit.
No, that's actual history.
No,
Don Corleone
revisionist
Cornelius
history
is
to your
awesome.
joke.
No,
you
that's
you
why
meant to
I
say
said-
Soul Plane.
no.
Nope, I will die on the cross.
I kind of believe him.
I hope you die on a cross. Oh my God.
You
I
believe
would
me, right?
I actually kind of do believe it. I think you meant to say
No,
you-
I didn't.
You absolutely meant
Yeah,
to.
No, I
it's
didn't.
Okay. It's okay. We've
It's fine.
all
We're moving
done
on.
it before.
We're moving on. We're moving
We've
on.
all done
It's
it.
okay, man.
If you think I
have
don't know
made
the
jokes
difference
before.
between Soul Train and Soul Plane,
you do. Here's the you do. But you
I
slipped
had
up.
to.
buddy,
I
I
had
know
to
you
grow.
do.
You slipped up.
You
slipped
stupid.
up. Hey.
Oh no.
You
You're
slipped
no,
up.
No. You're
It's
not
a slip
gonna,
of the tongue.
Hey. No, if there's one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to turn this fucking bullshit on me.
No,
you're not going to take this joke to the level. No.
It happens.
I'm going to made this mistake.
Nate, if you go on his side, I swear to God, I'll break your fucking computer over your stupid lanky knee.
It's okay, man. It happens. Jesus.
I grew up
just be clear.
forced to watch Soul Train as a child because
Wait,
it was
Train
on my
Soul Plane or Soul Train? I think you're getting confused again.
Just so we know.
No, just so we know. Is it the movie with Snoop Dogg where he's a pilot?
It's the movie with Snoop Dogg where he hosts a R&B dancing show.
Okay, well, that doesn't exist. Snoop Dogg never did that, so I think you're still even more confused.
It's called Soul Train.
Okay, man. I mean, those are your words.
I'm so mad right now.
It's all right, man. We've all
we've all
been
down
We've
that
done
road.
a lot of podcasts
Anyway,
together.
This was such a good takedown of him pretending to be like he's the cool black ally.
Yeah, but
you decide to go in on his easy. Oh, you're talking about Soul Plane.
No,
with
because I
Tom
genuinely
Arnold.
think you did make that mistake.
I didn't.
All right, moving on. We
you
clearly
just get to
aren't
decide.
gonna,
You just
we're
get to
not
decide.
going to
Yeah, okay.
see eye to eye here. It's 2 against 1. Plus, we have all the listeners on our side. They heard what we heard.
Yeah,
Did
they
you
heard
see-
me make the accurate joke of making fun of Ben for Soul Train.
Hey, buddy, if you need to believe that,
It's if that's your narrative and you're going to sleep well tonight,
whatever your journey
I'll
is right
sleep
now,
well.
I'm supporting your journey.
I'll sleep well no matter what.
whatever
I do.
your journey is right now, we support.
We support it. So what movies did you watch, buddy?
Soul Train.
Did you watch Soul Plane?
If Ben was in the same position that Mark Wahlberg was when he was younger, he also would have blinded that man.
That is hurtful to that man and his family, and I need you to apologize.
To Mark Wahlberg? You want me to apologize to Mark Wahlberg?
Listen, have you had a Wahlburger? They're delicious.
I actually haven't.
I haven't.
I actually me neither.
They
All
sell
right.
their sauce in stores now.
Cool. So what movies have you seen?
I'll bring the Wahlburger sauce. I'll find it for
Oh,
you.
okay.
I
But
know-
make a burger too, though.
Yeah,
'cause
make
I'm,
no, just the
I'm trying to
sauce.
get a lot of protein.
No, you're gonna
Yeah, I need
suckle on
more-
the sauce nozzle.
Just the sauce nozzle?
Yeah.
So there's like
Feels
a
like
fire,
little piggies.
yeah. Are you gonna strap it to your chest?
Yeah.
Little gerbil.
Now I will.
Little gerbil.
Okay,
Say gerbil.
Yeah, little gerbil.
little dribble. Okay. Let's never make that noise. Let's just agree to never make that noise ever again into the microphone. Oh, stop it! I thought that we lost so many listeners at the beginning of the podcast, and
Nope.
now
It was the
they're all
It was
gone.
the drinking Wahlburger sauce out of a gerbil nipple.
Yep.
that lost.
that really lost the last two. So thanks for hanging in this far, Mom.
I guarantee you, Mike Flores isn't here anymore. So
Mitch was like, I don't know. I was loving it, and then they started talking about Wahlburger sauce and gerbil nipples, and kind of lost me.
Mitch just turned off the last terrestrial radio that's carrying this podcast in New Zealand.
hey, Mitch.
Love you, buddy.
He meant Soul Plane, didn't he?
Did Mike
Mitch.
listen? Did Mike
Mitch.
listen to the episode?
Mitch. He said Soul Plane.
Did Mike listen to the episode?
Actually, so Mike has been super busy lately.
Update.
I have not talked to him. I miss my friend. I have not talked to him.
I
will
think
talk
if
to
he
him.
would have listened, he would have texted. What
Also, to me, that just means he doesn't like you.
Fair enough. You know what? That's a great joke.
Don't give him that. Don't you fucking give him that, you chuckle fuck.
This is great.
Did Easter deprive you so much of genuine comedy that you just have to laugh at the stupidest, lowest common
it's
denominator
really
shit?
not the funniest holiday. Good Friday.
What are you doing? You turned Ben into a fucking squeak toy. This is the funniest joke I've ever heard. It's not the funniest holiday.
His delivery was perfect. It's not the funniest.
What is the funniest holiday?
You mean the one where Jesus died? Is it super funny? Oh my god! I'm sorry. It really hit me. Oh, it's such a good joke, Nate. Brad, you should do more like that.
It was good. It was very good.
Oh, buddy. I think the funniest holiday in the Christian calendar is probably Christmas, because you're celebrating all good things. There's nothing bad that happened on Christmas. It was, the birth of Jesus is a good thing to celebrate, right?
Well, there were some bad things.
Like what?
Well, like Joseph and Mary were turned away from the inn. That's
That's
pretty rough.
I mean, they looked poor.
See, he's back.
Well, I mean, away in a manger. Just go back to the back and have your grunt baby out there.
Wow.
Hey, and then he saved the world. So what's the big deal?
How did he do it?
Well, again, it was very sad. I don't know if you know this, but we kind of just talked about that. Those Romans, man.
I only watched a couple of movies. One of them was a repeat. We watched The Wedding Singer.
First time?
Just with family, just throwing it on in the background, and it's
First time.
It's just it really remains one of Adam Sandler's best. We talked about that a while back when we.
Did it win? Did it win our Sandler competition?
Did it? Maybe it did.
I think it did.
Maybe it did.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah, it really is. And then I watched My Assignment because I'm a good podcast co-host.
Okay,
and
it happens sometimes.
I take it seriously. People give me a movie, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna
how many times
I'm gonna bring an open mind to the podcast. I'm gonna talk about the thing that I was supposed to watch.
You say things like this, but then also we're like, hey, we're recording on Monday, right? And then 6 days later, it's like, oh, I forgot, I got a screening, so we can't do the thing. I've got to move it. Is that cool?
Oh, are you really good at keeping your calendar in shape and never missing things and never being late to things?
Better than
never
you now.
never double or triple booking yourself because you don't know how to plan your life or use a planner or a calendar?
Better now.
Better than what? A fire?
Better than you?
Not even.
Yeah, I haven't had to cancel anything in the last 6 episodes.
No, you just don't watch the movies you're supposed to watch.
That's different.
Instead, you just jerk off in the kitchen.
I'm here.
Anyway.
I'm present and accounted for.
Sorry that my job requires me to go see movies in Chicago.
It sucks.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't want to see The Accountant 2 anyway.
You can't.
How was it?
Haven't seen it yet. Going tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Nate couldn't go either, so.
Hey, good for you. Thanks for saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trust me. He said he wanted to go.
I do want to go.
I told him that's what you should say. I was like, please tell me you wanted to go.
I do want to go.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I want to go too. But my kid's getting fitted for an orchestra or whatever. That's really the reason I can't go. He's getting fitted for a tuba, or he's picking out his instrument that he wants to play for band.
And you already decided on a tuba?
I thought he's not going to public school next year.
No, he is. Yeah.
Oh. I watched The Devil's Advocate. And you can guess who assigned that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ben. No, it was Nate.
I did.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just telling the listener.
Yeah, it was irony.
What were you ironing?
Now, had you seen Al Pacino in a film before?
Is he
Jack and Jill?
I don't know which one he was. But no.
He's the devil.
He's the devil.
Cool.
So this movie is wild. I had heard rumblings of how
Did it feel very 90s to you?
Very 90s.
Yep. Oh,
And honestly, one of the cleaner.
I haven't watched this in so long, by the way.
One of the cleaner pitches you could ever have for a movie, because it's basically, oh, what if The Firm but Rosemary's Baby, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just wild. And I kept going back and forth so much as to whether or not Keanu Reeves was good in this movie.
See, okay, so
I don't just Keanu.
Honestly, here's the least hot take. I think that if you think about his 90s career, that's apropos of all of his movies.
Except for Speed.
No, I love him in Speed, but there's some scenes in Speed where was that good acting or was it not? Because it's still Keanu Reeves delivering the line in that way, but where you're like, is that Point Break? Is that good acting?
It's that thing where if his personality fits a certain role really well, then it really works.
Yeah, that's why The Matrix is wonderful for him.
Yeah.
And Bill and Ted works.
Exactly.
But a movie like Speed is great, but again, I don't know. I mean, there were some deliveries there where I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
So was he good?
It is an ambitious film, by the way, especially with the story, right?
Yeah.
It's doing a lot.
It is. He has some great emotional moments.
Sure.
But the biggest problem is that he's putting on this deep South Florida, accent at the same time, and he doesn't always land it.
Exactly.
It comes sometimes it fades, and sometimes the way he delivers his lines with that accent, because it's Keanu doing the lines with the accent, it's just a little weird. Other times it works, and he does sound like he fits the role well.
And back then, they weren't shooting on digital, so they didn't have 15 takes. So they were like, we're just going to move on from that one. We got about the best we're going to get out of you on that one.
But it escalates to weird places pretty quickly, and then quiets down a bit, and then it's oh, here's another fucking weird thing.
Did you going into this, obviously how over the top Pacino has become as a stereotype, right?
Yeah.
And it's movies like this that kind of this Scarface. There are these big performances.
But I also like that they slow rolled it, and you don't get that Pacino until the very end.
Exactly. But when they get it, it gets hard. It gives you 100,000%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going in knowing that, what did you think of his performance?
I was expecting him to be more on throughout more of the movie, so that was kind of refreshing in that way.
Good.
To see him feel like reserved until he really let loose at the end.
I mean, of the things praised in this film, and there's some people that don't like this film, right? Roger Ebert thought it was just fine, but of the things praised in this film, Pacino's performance is always brought up as actually. There's some people think one of his best. Like
I think the biggest problem with the movie, and I'm going to talk about it because this is a movie that's over 20 years old, so 30 years old by now. I think. I think that the movie should have ended 5 minutes earlier, and I think that part of me wonders if they were forced to tack on the ending that wipes clean and goes back. Because if you end there, that's a bold fucking ending.
But they didn't do that. And they barely do it today.
Yeah. And it still has like a little bit of a playful ending where like, it could happen, still be, manipulated again by the devil. But it makes it feel a little more hokey in a way that doesn't vibe with the rest of the...
It's like I just went through all of that and we're here now.
Are you happy with the film?
I enjoyed watching it. I don't know if I'm happy with it yet. I think I need to like sit with it a little more to really think about whether or not I really like it. Like I would watch it again probably. I don't know if I would ever say that like I love it, but I think it's ambitious. It's a big swing, and it was entertaining to watch.
I think this is where I got my crush on Charlize Theron.
Totally understandable, because she is super adorable at the beginning of this movie before she starts losing her mind.
Yep.
And yeah, this was like the start of her career basically. So.
Yep. Just a fun, like I said, it's a film to watch. It's not like it didn't win a bunch of awards, but
movies
it does
also aren't like sexy like this anymore either. Like
no, that was a lot of Pacino, right, being very sexual.
It's not. I mean, Pacino has like one scene where it feels like he's being like intimidating and like
naughty,
overtly flirtatious. Yeah,
I think that's the thing that I think of when I think of this movie.
It's there, and then there's a couple like quicker scenes where like it's clear he's taking like two women up to his penthouse tower and whatnot. But like the sexier stuff more so comes from like Keanu's character, like imagining, doing stuff with Connie Nielsen's character, who also has a law firm, and then just like the romance that he does have with Charlize Theron until she starts going crazy and that kind of thing. But yeah, like movies used to be like sexy like this all the time by default.
Brad just watched a lot
anymore.
of Sliver when he was a kid.
I'll say to this film, what this film offered is a 90s film that they made these films in the 90s where it's not tied to any intellectual property.
Yeah.
Right. They're bringing in some ideas or the idea of a devil kind of thing. Right. People know, and they're taking a swing. Right.
Yeah.
And I appreciate films back in the 90s. Seems like there was a lot of films like this. We don't. Especially like this was a blockbuster film, right? This was a big film.
Yeah.
You don't see a ton of original type of stories like this as much anymore. It kind of makes me pine for that world again in the 90s where we were building a lot of these types of films.
I agree wholeheartedly. I do want to shout out a couple of TV shows that I've been watching just because I have had a lot of TV screeners recently.
I'm down.
All right, yeah, me too.
I'm
buddy.
back on your side, buddy.
I'm back on your side too. This is great.
I watched the entire second season of The Rehearsal, which is Nathan Fielder's show, which
Ben can't watch. Probably.
Can't watch. Yeah, there's a little too much cringe in there.
No way.
Although I did find out recently a way to maybe get around this, at least because I do want him to enjoy a show.
I guess this
like
is the first time I'll actually out loud say we should talk about that because I did watch it.
And it worked?
It worked.
So I'm going to tell you what happened. I called Ben because I was thinking about his cringe humor problem that he has. For those of you that don't know, because I don't know if we've talked about this in a long time, Ben can't watch shows like The Office where he gets actively embarrassed for the characters because of the decisions they make because they make him cringe because of the kind of humor it is.
Because to me it feels like, and again, and I know this is wrong. I know it's wrong. My brain just does this. it feels that it's punching down because it feels like the characters are real.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're making fun of people that shouldn't be made fun of, or it's awkward for people that are in a real situation. And there would be a way that I would talk my way out of it very quickly.
Yeah.
And why don't they just do that? And it all started when I was a kid and I watched Growing Pains, and Mike Seaver would do something and he would make it 10 times worse because he would just lie about it. And I was like, why wouldn't he just tell the truth? Get it? And my mom literally back then was like, well, then they couldn't really make a show.
Yeah.
And I get that, but my brain just doesn't work like that. It just makes me not want to watch it.
I don't want to gloss over this. Ben Konowitz has never seen The Office.
He's tried to watch several episodes, but he can't watch it without standing up and pacing.
I got through the first 2 seasons in about 7 months. I'm not joking. And I pause it and I get up and I walk and I pace and I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
So, and what's interesting, so I called Ben because I had a thought, because we have another podcast called the 10 to 1 podcast. And there was a sketch on there where John Hamm is on a game show and he talks about hoping that he doesn't embarrass himself by saying something that will get him canceled. And the entire sketch is John Hamm's character just saying things that are wrong and embarrassing,
making it worse.
and making it worse.
It was awesome. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and so I asked him, I was like, why doesn't that work for you? And I anticipated that it was because it's such a heightened level of humor that he knows that's the premise and that's what's supposed to happen, and so he's not actually embarrassed for that character.
You're in on the joke, I guess, a little bit.
But when it comes to stuff like The Office or the show that inspired this conversation, The Studio, which is Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's new showbiz set comedy on Apple TV Plus, he actively gets embarrassed for and nervous for the characters because they keep screwing up and doing things wrong, and he can't help but cringe rather than actually laugh at the situation. So he said after watching the second episode that really did him in, because the second episode is really like...
The first episode of The Studio, if you're like me, let's just call it a cringe phobic, the first episode's fine, honestly. Like, there's a little cringiness here and there, but by and large, you think that the main character is trying to do right, and he's just kind of a goofy guy.
Yeah, I like that first episode.
And then Brad's like, you're going to love the second episode.
I wasn't even... I didn't say you're going to love the second episode. I said the second episode is so good.
He just goes, if you like the first one, you're going to love the second one. Like, that's how you kind of phrase it.
But
forgetting that I
forget these
cringe.
kinds of things.
So it's the cringiest thing I've ever. So my girlfriend, Ashley, I paused it and got up and started pacing, and she goes, "Why would Brad do this to you? Is he getting back at you for something? He knows you don't like cringy stuff, and this is the cringiest thing
If I was more sneaky, I would do it more often.
Because my God, it's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. I watched the whole episode. I hated it.
So because of this, he wasn't going to watch anymore, and
I said no. I'm not watching that show anymore.
And I wanted to. I wished he would have, because the third episode has a really funny thing with Ron Howard in it. Once I found out he wasn't going to watch it, I was like, well, I want to tell you what happens in it then, so that you understand how funny this was. And so I told him about it.
He gave me everything. He spoiled the whole episode.
And then he's like, well, you know what? He's like, that does sound really funny. He's like, and now I want to go watch it to see if I can tolerate it, since I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't pause it once, and I laughed the whole time. I didn't pause it at all, and I laughed always. I was
and knowing where it was going, it didn't ruin it.
What was coming, and it didn't, because it like it does end fine, like ish.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like just knowing the beats of it, but then it's like how it's performed, then I look at it more of a performance instead of, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
So what we're gonna try is when I continue to watch the show, I'm gonna pinpoint the cringy things and say, okay, here's the things that are really embarrassing. You're probably not gonna like.
I think that my brain just, once I know it's coming, I can compartmentalize. I need to talk to a therapist about this specifically. I don't know what this is.
Well, we did,
because it's hard.
In the conversation we had, we did pinpoint that you do think it comes from your parents telling you when you're younger, if you lie about this, it's going to be way worse.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. Like, I got in, so I think the thing I said was, hey, Brad, you know how your parents always say, oh, don't lie, it's bad. So you do a thing, right? And then you might get in trouble. And then you lie about the thing, and you get your bike taken away for 3 months by your father. 3 legitimate summer months. And do you think that that's appropriate? He's like, well, probably not. I go, yeah, it's real weird, because your friends go for bike rides, and you still want to be a part of it, so you run alongside them. And I remember being like 10 years old and running, like, wait up. And they'd be down the block, and I'd be hustling. I literally ran around with my friends.
What you really needed was a friend who had pegs on their bike.
And honestly, some did. And they said,
but Tim was smart. He was like, and don't you dare ride on the bike with your friends.
Not see you. If I
see you, it's a year.
And I don't mean a full year. I mean, I pick the months that you're grounded, because you're not riding a bike in the winter.
Yeah. Also, he broke my bike in half to ensure I couldn't ride it. So this is just, he's better now. We're good. but back then, kind of hard.
So yeah, we're gonna give that a shot because
Yeah.
I do feel like he's missing out on some funny things because of the
It
cringy
did. It actually did work. I got to admit, it worked.
So it's to all this to say, The Rehearsal is a show from Nathan Fielder because Ben also couldn't watch his show Nathan For You because
I watched one episode and I was gonna kill myself.
yeah, and that's when I found out about your cringe humor thing. I think. So in that show, Nathan Fielder would basically pretend like he was a successful business person and propose weird, absurd business ideas to help people with their business and see what they go along with
For
and try to help
example,
them.
the one I watched, he convinced a small family business that had a hamburger stand that if they're going to promote this as the best hamburger you've ever had in your entire life, and if you as the customer disagree, we will give you $100. And so these people come up and they're like, yeah, it's pretty good. Not the best I've ever had. And he's handing over what these people think is their real money. And these are real people with a real restaurant. Now, obviously, it's Comedy Central's money or whatever, and they'd let them know after the fact. But the cook, the guy, the man, the owner, and his wife, they were going to have a heart attack because they saw thousands of dollars going out. And then they start getting mad at the customers. And it just, like, why is this funny? Who wants to watch this? Brad?
No, so there is a level of like Borat-esque satire to it
Ugh.
because you do know that like for me anyway, I process it as like, oh, I know the reactions are real, but I know they're not like actually doing anything to fuck over these people.
But
you
in
know?
the moment, they think they're
Of
being
course,
fucked over.
of
And
course.
that's so, it's you're punching down. Like, that's
and you're
punching down.
watching these people in pain. Right?
Exactly.
Like,
You're causing pain for other people to laugh at, not with.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't like that.
So here's my.
that's when you feel like you're a part of the bully.
Exactly.
But if I had a defense of that, because I do agree with you somewhat, I think that the difference though is there's a certain kind of person who does shows like this and they're willing to go along with anything just because there's cameras there, no matter how stupid the idea is. Like
and this one, I think this seemed very much just like these poor people got tricked. That's how it felt.
and I do think that there are probably some people who are like that. But like, for example, one of the other ones where I'm like, why would anyone agree to this is he tries to help a yogurt shop. And one of the promotions that he does to try and incite more business and get people to come to the yogurt shop is by having a shit-flavored yogurt. And they do it, you know? So, like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, what? Why? Why would you do this? So the show, The Rehearsal, is deeper, and it's not quite as like a simple of a premise, and it has more layers because it's more focused on Nathan as a character.
I think that this, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've got a big thing coming up, and you're gonna ask her to marry you, so you stage it first with actors just to make it all go right, so that when it really happens, it goes right.
Yeah. So his whole thing is trying to help people by setting up a very elaborate rehearsal for them to go through the motions of what they're doing to try and make it go better. But there are like a lot of meta layers to this because he starts doing rehearsals for like his own life to like prepare for that rehearsal that he's trying to plan. And so like it becomes this like rushing nesting doll situation sometimes. But like the brilliant part of it is the way Nathan Fielder injects this version of himself.
Just real quick, did you say Russian? Okay, I just want to make sure you don't think it's rushing nesting dolls.
No.
Okay.
Soul Train, Russian nesting dolls. But he injects this version of himself into the narrative so that he's a character that becomes part of it in a way, and so like he's like learning things about himself and stuff like that. But it's not like it's supposed to be the quote unquote real Nathan Fielder,
Right.
But no one really knows what the real Nathan Fielder is like because whenever he's on talk shows and stuff like that, he's still kind of in character.
He's doing the bit, yeah.
So the first season is wild. The elaborate nature of the rehearsals that he does and stuff like that, it's crazy what he does, how long he gets like these things to go on, how detailed they are. The second season somehow manages to up the ante, and the stuff that he does and that he pulls off and like the things that they build and spend money on, it's unbelievable.
So and that part was the only intriguing thing to me was if you've got the budget of a big budget show and you spend it on recreating these people's private life moments that they are going to go through, the level of which you can recreate perfectly, like, oh, it's going to be at the Elks Lodge. Well, let's build an Elks Lodge instead of actually going to that Elks Lodge, right?
It's
they
crazy.
really do crazy set design like that, right?
And it's weird, and the things that he tries to accomplish or like tries to help people with are weird enough that like it's just hard to fathom. Like, I cannot believe he's actually they're doing this. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And on top of that, there's a bigger overarching narrative that adds like a layer of intrigue and stuff like that. It's fascinating to watch. It's really funny, and yeah, it's so good. I love it.
All right.
I want to give a shout out to a show called Light and Magic on Disney Plus.
Okay, come on.
Only because it's
We
about
just did a bunch on TV.
I know, but this is about making movies, and so if you have any interest in like behind the scenes stuff, especially when it comes to visual effects, Industrial Light and Magic is the visual effects company founded by George Lucas when the original Star Wars came out. They've since become pioneers in visual effects. They did the first computer-generated characters for that Sherlock Holmes movie, which eventually fed into doing CG dinosaurs in the original Jurassic Park, which still look great to this day. They've had their hand in pretty much like every major blockbuster and the visual effects that have happened over the years. They just did a second season with just 3 episodes where they dig into like the rise and further advent of computer-generated technology, which they kind of started getting more serious with Phantom Menace by doing entire CG characters and how it progressed from there and just improving and that kind of thing. It's fascinating stuff. Lots of cool behind-the-scenes anecdotes and details, and it's just really good shit for movie nerds. So,
is it?
Yeah.
Do you know have more TV you want to talk about?
Oh, I can talk about TV all the live long day.
By the way, Nathan Fielder was in a high school improv comedy troupe. Why don't we have high school improv comedy troupes?
Some high schools
there
do.
are. Matt McCann actually teaches improv over, I think it's in either Valpo or Chesterton.
Unfortunately, Laporte was never cool enough to have one.
There was another member of his high school improv comedy troupe that became famous too. Do you guys want to guess who it was?
Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert are older than Nathan Fielder.
Yeah, way older.
So
I'm going to say Tim Robinson.
That's a good choice. You know what? I'm going to say Alex Moffat.
It's a connection to the show, another show that we were just talking about, Seth Rogen.
Oh,
there
interesting.
you go.
They're in the same high school comedy troupe.
Canadian in Vancouver?
What?
Nathan Fielder is Canadian. So.
Yeah, so they were in Seth
They
Rogen
went
grew
to
up
same
in
high school,
Vancouver.
Nice.
Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah,
Or Canadian.
Fun facts for you.
I like it.
All right. That's it. Well, everybody, bye.
Would you watch Muffy?
Oh. Who, me? Huh. Not my assignment, as you both know. Sorry about that. I'll get better. I watched Hop.
You watched Hop?
Kids want to watch an Easter movie.
Because I gave you that. Did we do that in the Easter game, Hop?
I just didn't. I didn't.
Probably.
Yeah, we probably did. It was just on because it's trending because it's Easter.
The Easter Bunny, I'm pretty sure, is in Rise of the Guardians. You could have easily.
That was the point of it.
Yeah.
I brought it up, and you and I both talked about how much we like that film.
You know, actually, since Ashley's cool with them watching violence, you should just watch Passion of the Christ.
Well, that was on the docket. You know,
the Easter roster.
Yeah, the Easter roster is what I called it.
Yeah. How was Hop?
Instead, I made them just make their own crowns of thorns.
Your favorite actor is the voice of the bunny in Hop, right?
Russell
Brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love him. What's he from?
You know exactly what he's from. Don't pretend.
Get him to the Greek. Yep, I remember that. Watched Hop. Watched Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Had you seen Hop before?
I had seen it before, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that an annual thing for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's more like a weekly. Mitchell.
There's a part of me that wishes Ben just had this weird secret thing where he just has to put Hop on once a week.
You're not doing a bit. You're just listen. I love Ben's a great guy.
I gotta watch
one
Hop.
of my best friends, but he watches Hop every Friday morning.
And I don't mean he tosses it on the background.
No, he sits down, turns his phone off, watches Hop,
gets a big bowl of cereal, and
if you watch it with him, he doesn't say the lines, he mouths them. And it's just off-putting.
And he also keeps looking at you to make sure you're watching.
Oh yeah, a lot of bumping.
What's this?
See what he did. Anyway, young James Marsden.
Well, he's always been young.
And then, caught his affinity for CGI characters, and then moved on to Sonic.
Of course.
So you love to see that.
In
a better movie than a Hop.
He's not Paul Rudd, but James Marsden looks good like Paul Rudd.
He looks,
he's
aging. He's aging like fine wine.
Yeah.
Mitchell's versus the Machines. I watched that because the boys had it on. And then I watched.
I love Mitchell's versus the Machines.
It's a almost perfect family
it really
comedy. It's sentimental. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's
cool animation.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the 2 adult movies that I watched. Stop. Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Finally watched that.
Big Tits on Sunset.
2 questions at once?
Oh, I said Big Tits on Sunset.
Ha.
And I said, oh, that was your first time. You can answer my question.
The real
hold on. You know that wasn't his first time watching Big Tits on Sunset.
No, that's every Friday after Hop.
It's a weird.
It's a weekly. I watch the Easter Bunny movie, and then I watch Big Tits on Sunset.
He calls it Eggs and Jugs.
There really is a duality to Ben Konowitz.
Heartfelt family comedy and just huge tits.
Yep, yeah, they're hand in hand, literally. Anyway,
Oh man,
Jesus,
you are a horn dog.
yeah, I'm on that testosterone. That's what it does to you. But no, seriously, if you're a man over 40 and you're tired of it, you should go get tested because my testosterone was super low, and I found out, and now I'm on injections, and I feel like a man again.
Hey, no, I would say this because I am such a big advocate. I'm not on testosterone, but I am a big advocate for this.
Cool.
If you're 25 years old, go get your testosterone tested because then you'll know what your testosterone should be.
You really
when
should.
You become 40,
you really should,
45.
because I went through probably years of having low T, honestly, and just not knowing it.
Now he's
and
bro.
being tired all the time and whatever, and just I feel so much better now.
I saw Ben in the middle of LaPorte the other day, and he was wearing those big rainbow colored sunglasses, like the kind that like wrap around most of your face.
Like Randy the Macho Man Savage?
Yeah, exactly like that. He had a hat backwards, and he was wearing a camouflage shirt that said, "Talk to me about my guns."
And then it had arrows pointing in my biceps.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's me these days.
But he was also open carrying, so like you weren't sure.
Let him
and also
go.
clothes carrying.
Let him go on his new journey, and maybe you should support it like we've supported yours.
Yeah, meet me at the end of the rainbow. No, so yeah, I watched Gladiator 2, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good, not great.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's
good.
definitely. I mean, I love the homages they're trying and things like that. It's too long.
Paul Mescal's fine though.
He's fine. I don't know. I don't see the love there for like why this guy is hosting SNL and
So this isn't the movie to like really see like what his range.
So yeah, okay. What else did he do that I would be impressed by that? Because like this was fine, honestly. He didn't take me out of the film whatsoever. But he's not Denzel was excellent as always, right? I love watching him like shiftiness his way in. And then I just saw the guy in Fantastic Four,
Pedro Pascal.
No, the other one. In Gladiator 2.
Joseph Quinn.
One of the emperors.
Yeah.
Right? And so I saw him and I was like, oh, that's from that.
He
Okay.
was very good.
He was great in Gladiator 2. Like those twins' performances were incredible.
Joaquin Phoenix level.
That was it was unhinged and they were wonderful. I loved that. The supporting characters honestly carried this film a lot more than he did. So
yeah, I think for me, I think he's good in it. And some people were complaining because they felt like he didn't have like as
who's he, by the way, real quick.
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal. Okay.
That he didn't have as like defined of a character as Russell Crowe did, and to me that was kind of the point. I feel like
you can't hide the lineage and be murky about it, and then make him the upfront main character who is it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're making a movie about Maximus's son, so like you kind of have to.
And I think the bigger problem too is just that this movie was always going to live in the shadow of Maximus as a character.
Yeah, you're not going to get a better Gladiator than Russell Crowe. You're just not, right? It's still fine.
My fiance Brittany has seen the series called Normal People on Hulu, and apparently he's phenomenal in that. That also stars Daisy Edgar Jones from Twisters. But the thing that I've seen him in that he is fantastic in is a movie that it's not quite your speed. I don't know if you would love it because it is a slower burn and it's a very like serious like drama. It's called All of Us Strangers. And it was kind of an awards contender. I don't remember if it was last year, if it was the year before. I think it was the year before. And he's fantastic in that. And so
Andrew Scott's in that. Like
yeah. So if you have the patience some night, you might want to watch that. But
I think he's also somebody that his career is getting ready to take off in big ways. He's got a couple films coming out that are.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you if he's in a movie, I'm going to avoid it.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
But based on this film alone,
I wasn't sold on him.
You've
as
heard a
a
lot
leading
of
man for sure at all. But no, overall, worth a watch. I did have to break it into two because it's 2 hours and 26 minutes long, and it didn't need to be.
You gotta pee a lot.
No, just like I have a busy life.
You don't have to stop it if you pee.
So I watched that, and then I watched. Hold on, I wrote it down so that I wouldn't forget. I watched Hop.
How long before you feel like you don't have enough time for movies so that you have Chat GPT like summarize part of it for you?
I do that now. That was what I did with The Working Man. You couldn't even tell. No, I actually wrote down A Working Man because that was the other one that I watched. So yeah, that's it. That's everything.
That's it.
I know we were talking about TV, so I might as well do it. For those of you who don't know, last year in 2024, I buried $10,000 of real money in the ground and made my own treasure hunt. And it was a lot of fun for the arcade, and I called it Old Man Konowitz's Treasure Hunt. It was fun. Now on Netflix, there is a documentary about a guy named Forrest Fenn who buried millions of dollars in the earth and had his own treasure hunt. And it's a 3-part limited series about that.
What's it called?
I actually don't know. I can't remember. There's a long title to it. You know, the treasure hunt, the story of Forrest Finn's buried or whatever.
Nate GPT. What is the name of the show that Ben has been talking about?
Golden Greed: The Hunt for Fenn's Treasure.
All right, perfect. Nate GPT, way better than Chat GPT.
So it was. It's that okay. I like the way they're telling this story because yes, they have interviews with Forrest Fenn, the guy that buried the treasure, but the first episode is from the perspective of 3 different treasure hunters that tried to find it. And then it does this fun thing where they show the map and then everybody has their own, like, I knew this is where it was. And they're all in different states. And so like one of them starts up in Wyoming. The other one's down in Texas. And they're like, dude, based on his poem, this has to be where we start.
Now, to be clear, he has actually
physically buried
all over the country.
Now, he didn't say buried. He just said,
okay,
I've hidden a treasure. And it
one treasure or several treasures?
He says, I've hidden a treasure, one treasure.
Interesting. And
it's worth at least $2 million, $3 million of gold and whatever this and that. He literally has hidden it somewhere in the Rocky Mountain area. I believe it's Santa Fe. You know,
I mean, no, it's in the Rocky Mountains.
Sorry, in the Rocky Mountains, and then certain people narrowed it down to Santa Fe, and because of it, and all he did was he released a poem.
He was from Santa Fe, so
yeah, one poem is all they give him to start. Which is kind of like when I mean, again, I'm not likening myself to somebody this good at this, but I had one page on our website on the Full Tilt website that just had this is the contest, and it was just a story that I told about a fake story about me and a guy named Dudley. And remember back in the day when Old Man Konowitz had that arcade and he buried the money. He did a version of that, but it's literally just a, let's say, 16-line stanza poem, and it says, you know, you begin where the water stopped being warm. Or whatever, and then so everybody knew that's where you start. But it's 3 different people saying that's exactly it's Kinsey County. How could it not be? And just to watch them in this first episode all go, and then this next clue definitely meant this. They're all doing the same thing in different states, and they think they're They got one guy blowing up a boulder because that's what he did. He dynamited this boulder on top of the treasure. So now he's like, we spent a week destroying this boulder in the middle of nowhere. And only to find that the treasure wasn't there. Well, no shit. But it's just fascinating. People have died looking for this treasure. I mean, it's been out there for a long time. It was found in 2020, but please don't tell me who, because I don't know who.
I don't know who. But
and then the rumor is that whoever found it reburied it or re-hid it.
Wow.
Also, this is what I love about this is I have not seen this yet, but I'm reading a little bit of the Wikipedia. This is the story. This is a film. This is an incredible. The guy gets cancer. You know, he's
got kidney cancer.
He's a war guy. Has like war.
He's
like,
81.
You know, like all these things. Fought in the war. Had a great life. Had a great career.
You go to his home. There's full of ancient artifacts and museum collector style stuff. I mean, he's just eccentric, but he's 80 years old, gonna die. So he just goes and buries a treasure.
He finds out he's gonna have cancer. He's like, all right.
And then he goes, and then the worst thing happens. I got better. But he said, I'll leave the treasure out there. And that's why. Because he just wanted to leave a treasure out there as he was dying.
I want you to know, if I ever found a treasure like this,
you wouldn't share it with us.
I'm not putting it back.
And why? Let's all say it together. Because I've got student loans. Yeah, it's fun to talk about all the time.
It's fun to have it.
Yeah, I bet
actually,
it is.
yeah.
I bet it is.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got money for new hats, though.
I didn't buy this. My sister bought it for me.
Well, she could have chipped that money towards your student loans.
She could have, but
bad sister.
I wanted the hat.
She could have helped me, but I wanted that.
She actually gave me a choice. She was like, I can buy this hat for you, or I can give you a little bit for your student loans.
And then you said, what are you, stupid? I'll take the hat.
Yeah, give me the fucking hat.
What, can I wear a payment towards my student loans?
Yeah, seriously, I'm not going to walk around with a fucking like $5 bill pasted to my head.
You're an idiot. I love you. That's it.
That's all.
That's it. That's everything.
Wow. I'm fascinated by this treasure, and I wish I could find one.
It is worth in December 2022. It is now worth $1.3 million. This treasure is.
Yeah.
Ding dang dong. When does your next treasure hunt start, Ben?
So right now, and this just happened today, I got an email from a news station over in South Bend. They want to come and interview me about the treasure, and because I posted a walkthrough.
That's not about the crimes?
No, it's not about that. That's from high school. So I posted a walkthrough of the first, I'd say, third of the treasure hunt on our website. It's a Google Doc, basically just walks us through like, here's what I did here, all the way through. I had to stop at a certain point because I was like, okay, well, this is taking me 2 hours just to put the walkthrough together. And I started
really have ChatGPT do it.
I mean, I did have ChatGPT help me organize it.
Of course you did.
No, help me organize it, honestly. Because I'm drawing from all these different resources that I used to put it together, including feedback from the people who hunted it. But they want to interview me to say, oh, we think it's very interesting that you did this, and we'd like to talk to you about your walkthrough, and then when the next one is going to be, because I did hint at we're going to do it again.
It was more than a hint.
I mean, I'm definitely going to do it again.
Yeah.
I just not. It's. I won't say it's anytime soon because I'm still putting it all together. And to be
but
very
you did
honest,
say sooner than you think.
sooner than yeah. But I, you know what I am doing using ChatGPT is making it ChatGPT proof. I don't want you to be able to put it in a cipher and just get it. So we've got to make sure that I'm running it through the high end model of ChatGPT just to make sure that these are real world clues that you can actually use a computer to solve, which is making it a lot harder because. If people had this level of ChatGPT back then, I think they would have solved it a lot quicker. And that's my story. You want to talk about trailers or just end the podcast?
I guess we can talk about trailers.
What I mean, what the fuck? We do this every week. We talk about trailers.
But somebody's got to sing the song.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like we knew this was coming, so we get quiet.
All right, well, we can do one or two things. One of you two chuckle fucks sings a song, or I say bye everybody bye.
No, here's the thing. Why don't you just be a team player? You have.
I'm a team player every week. I do
really?
Is
that why you watched your assignment this week? Because you're a team fucking player. Is that why you? Is that why you? Why you always argue about doing this?
Let's watch some trailers. It's time for fun. Let's watch some trailers until we're done. There you go.
Still did that thing where he loses.
I just want to do 4 lines and be done every time. I'm never going to go more than 4 lines.
But the problem is you always like interrupt like the melody, like you
That's
ruin
fine.
it. You ruin it.
Like,
yeah. Imagine if someone's giving you like the best hand job of your life, and then they're like, ah.
No, and that's the thing is
my favorite thing.
We actually had the thing that you've been wanting this whole time. We had a threesome going with the three of us doing the song.
Okay, wait, Nate, I gotta stop you right there, buddy. I know. Listen, whoa. I know you don't. I know. Hold on.
Hold on, wait. Hold on.
I know you don't know much.
I do want to back Nate up. You have been talking about wanting a threesome for a long time.
Calm down, Nate. I know.
You said the other day you would really like a threesome. I thought like it's about our song.
I know that you don't know, but
and you had that glint in your eye too. You're like, oh my guys,
you were talking
really
about our
want
song.
Here's the thing, Nate. Never say that again. In any context,
but you wanted all of us to sing.
Yep,
the three of us to sing together.
That's just like that's a chorus, you know. I guess
no, it's like a three.
There's three people singing.
No, it's for us.
Brad, you're not helping. Yeah, you know what, Nate? Actually, use that. That's what it's called when 3 people read out of the Bible. So next Sunday, make sure you say, "Hey, let's have a threesome."
3 people don't read out of the Bible at once. What is this?
Okay,
yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, you
know
what?
Yeah,
I tried to help. I tried to help.
When's the last time you saw 3 people reading out of the same Bible?
That'd be awkward.
Dumb fuck.
Isn't that what the 3 wise men did?
No. What?
Was the Bible not around back then?
What trailers did we watch?
Hold on. I want to go back to his question because I'm fascinated by this.
No, I mean, like
hold on. Ask a question again.
I mean, now I'm realizing that the Bible probably didn't. It
was the Bible not written?
Because, like, well, I mean, they had like a version of it, but it wasn't updated, right? So they had the start to it.
Oh, so you think that they added the story of the 3 wise men as like an addendum?
Well, like when it happened, right? So they had like Jesus created the heavens and the earth.
So you think the Bible has been an ongoing book that they've just added to?
Yeah, like it started out because like how would they?
I mean, technically,
well but
the way the canon was written,
but not in the way that he's talking about.
So like the 3 wise men have the Bible, but it's like this thick.
So let me ask you.
And then like the Bible, these is
so
this
thick. the 3 wise men are like, all right, it's our turn to take the journal.
Well, how else would it be accurate?
And then you get somebody else to take it. Like, hey, I got it from here.
Wait, so
this is their
You're
treasure
just telling
hunt.
me one guy was like, I heard a bunch of stories. I'm gonna write them down.
No, not one guy.
So a bunch of different people.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes.
Definitely with not conflicting narratives.
Maybe the book of Hebrews was written by a woman. We don't know, but maybe.
Okay, so what you're saying is the three wise men did not have a Bible.
I mean, they would. I mean, technically no, because the three wise men were not Jewish, and
Hey,
so
is there a Jewish coffee shop called Hebrews?
There should be.
Yeah, because that's solid gold, frankincense, and myrrh,
but
there.
it has to be like a Z, a Hebrews.
Like-
No,
The Z on the
Hebrews
end?
with a Z is like a Jewish boy band.
Have you heard the new single by Hebrews?
L'chaim.
No, I don't think we can do this.
The pop version of Shabbat Shalom fucking rips.
Dude, I saw the Chainsmokers do a cover of the fucking chair song from the wedding. It's so tight.
Oh man.
Hava Nagila.
Thanks for coming here for all your Jewish humor.
Yeah.
We watched the trailers for Fantastic Four, The First Steps. This is a new full trailer. Gives us a better idea of what the movie is actually about.
I wish that they just released this one and then that was the only one and that's it. Because this
Well,
is
that's not how it works.
No, but this is a great trailer and it doesn't
I'm
really give
excited
away
about
much.
this film.
And it's good. So like this is the one I wish that would just go out and then stop until we see the film.
This is the Marvel movie that I'm most interested in this year. I'm not excited yet, just because I think that
you got to guard your heart.
yeah,
You got to guard your
You
heart.
gotta guard your heart.
that, and also it's just like I love the aesthetic. It feels like live action Incredibles. It's a nice change of pace from the usual Marvel stuff.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying here.
But-
And honestly, I do love that it's not modern day.
Yeah. But at the same time, everything else still feels like your average Marvel movie, you know? And I don't expect them to reinvent the wheel necessarily, but it feels like the same kind of like, oh, here's a group of superheroes who exist. Yep, there's some kind of weird event that they don't understand. Here comes giant blockbuster scale.
Comic book.
I know. No, I know. But like when you have Feige who's finally doing Fantastic Four, which is a characters from Marvel Comics that he loves, I hoped for something maybe that felt a little bit more groundbreaking. And it feels like there's some stuff that's new here, but it's just for all the setbacks they've had from like superhero movies that haven't really measured up for the past couple years.
Here's my take that's a little different. I do feel like this because we are in an era of so much, right, comic books. Your ability as a storyteller or as a movie studio now, your ability to reset and make me feel like it's the first time I'm watching a superhero film is the linchpin.
Yeah.
And so because of the era and because it sounds like in this trailer at least, they're the only ones, right? Like it's not like Thor exists in this universe and Iron Man, because obviously it's set previous, but also there's no Spider-Man. They're not doing that. These are the heroes. These are the only ones that exist. There's no canon to fill the rest of it in. You might get a little bit of a cameo here and there from a golden age of comics, you know, a villain or hero. But if you're able to hit the reset button and say, let's imagine a world in which these four are the only ones in the world that can do this, I think that's the only way forward to making a good superhero movie.
I don't disagree. And that's the one thing that does give me like a little bit of hope.
I got a little goosebumps. You know, when
It's a very good trailer.
When they ask you this, will you save us,
I-
or are we in danger?
Yeah.
Right. And then what does he say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I think the cast is good. I like things about this. I'm not
And
down-
the music
Well, Nate,
trailer for this trailer is fantastic.
Yeah.
Nate and I've already said that we don't know why you hate it so much.
I don't hate it. But
Nate-
I think I was just talking
he's shaking his
about this with a friend of the pod, Cameron, my cousin, because he was asking, he's like, why I'm not more excited for it. And I said, well, how many movies are there between Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday? Or how? And there's only like 2, basically. And so for me, this feels like too little too late in the multiverse saga. If you were going to do something like this and you were going to want it to feel fresh, stuff like that, you should have done it a lot sooner and not made so much after the Infinity Saga that
Okay,
felt
so
like...
don't do it at all.
No, but it feels
do
like...
you think though that because they're rushing it too much now? If you're going to restart, now you're restarting, so make it a saga that's like 5, 6, 7 movies, and then get to that
I just think that this is going to be something that like is a
afterthought.
not an afterthought, but a stepping stone to getting to where they need to be to pull off Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And I think that this will be the more defining piece of the multiverse saga as opposed to anything else that came before it.
Okay.
And that will like a lot of what happens in Fantastic Four is going to be a lot of stuff that sets up Avengers Doomsday, I think. And for me, I think it's more of a matter of narrative convenience to do this in that way rather than doing something where Fantastic Four is allowed to like stand on its own as like, wow, this is a great Fantastic Four movie. And that's worry on my part. I don't know if it's going to turn. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love if this was not just a setup for Avengers Doomsday, but a legit good Fantastic Four movie. But because of where
it could be both.
It can be both. I hope it is. But I'm not there yet. I want to be.
I mean, again, it's a trailer. We've been burned so many times. I literally understand your trepidation. I'm not doing a bit. I think you're well within your rights at this point with Marvel to be reserved.
Yeah.
At the same time, you and I are both very hopeful, right? I'm hopeful about this movie.
Yeah, no, I am too. So we'll
I am excited about this.
I will see this in the theater. My youngest Ender came over, sat on the couch and watched it with us, and then when he got up, he said, "Can we watch the Fantastic Four again?"
Yeah.
He wanted to watch it again, and I go, "Don't worry, buddy. And then he said, "When is this out right now?"
Yeah.
And then Brad said, "No, it comes out in July." And I said, "We're going to go to the theater and see this." That's something that will be great. We will go to the theater. We'll watch a real good, hopefully, Marvel movie in the theater as the Lord intended.
I hope it's good, and I hope they make 3 films out of this cast.
You guys should dress like the Fantastic Four.
Shut the fuck up. I'm just joking. We probably should. That'd be crazy. Yeah, no, it's just like make her the invisible woman because she won't be there. Like, just take the boys alone.
Also,
I'm kidding.
My
That's a
guy,
joke.
Paul Walter Hauser's in this film, probably as Mole Man.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
That's awesome.
And I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's Fantastic Four. We also watched a trailer with a different tone, called Him, which is a new horror movie produced by Jordan Peele.
It looks like it should be directed by Jordan Peele. I mean, it looks very stylized after what he does.
That's why I think he ended up producing
Well, sure.
it. Because it does feel like it's tapped into his kind of horror. And it's also looking at a sect of the horror genre that has kind of been unexplored in that way, where it seems to be doing some kind of commentary and approach to professional football and like the idea of like athletes being these like super toned, like machines of human excellence, but then tying that into like the horror of like basically pushing yourself
like,
too far to be.
You're not good enough. What would you give to be the
Exactly.
best? And like making a deal with the devil possibly or whatever that
Yeah.
entails. And then they made not so veiled references to CTE
Yeah.
and smashing your skull
What is
together.
CTE again, Ben?
What's that?
What does CTE stand for people who maybe don't know?
Cranial traumatic entropy,
Mhm.
I believe.
Yeah.
I made that up, but that sounds right, so I should have just not said I made it up.
Nate, what
Nate,
is
what
it
is
actually?
it? Nate,
I thought you actually knew.
I know it's something like that.
Chronic traumatic
Encephalopathy?
Yeah.
You were close.
What did I say? Cranial traumatic entropy. Which sounds pretty good. So we're going to say it's that. But no, that is when you smash your little brain together on a helmet over and over and over again with little micro concussions over years, and then you shoot yourself in the heart so that the scientists can study your brain, which is what many NFL players have done. It's very sad. There's a narrative there where this is the hyper aggro version of what sports is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be fun and you try hard, but at its worst, it brings out the worst in people, which is you're not good enough and you need to be perfect. And all we do is grind. All we do is train because you're not good enough. The best champions say they're not good enough. It says that in the trailer. And what does that do to your psyche? But then what are you willing to do to be the best?
Yeah, exactly.
And then add a ridiculous, crazy stylized horror element to this. I'm excited about this.
I'm excited about this too because I don't know what it's about. Right?
Even watching, we know it's about football and we know it's about
Yep.
like horror, but other than that, great trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, I am always going to be excited for, even if he's not directing, something that he produces, because it means that he deems it worthy enough to put his name on.
And he did. Monkey Paw bought this after just a Specs script, and then they've been attached to it since. So
And I'd like to point out Marlon Wayans is in this.
Oh,
and so
he looks great in this.
Yeah.
Like he's unhinged in the right way.
it would be really cool if this kind of like became like a turning point and like he kind of came back and started doing more stuff, because he was great in Air, his little, he had a small part.
Yep.
But yeah, it would be great to see him be able to do more of stuff like this.
And then we watched a trailer. I don't think we need to talk about. I have kids now, and I feel like I just don't want to talk about it.
Well, to be fair, we don't fully know what it's about yet.
No, it's enough. I saw the trailer, Brad.
It is a little creepy.
It's very creepy.
So
I don't want to watch this.
This is a movie called Weapons, and it's from Zach Kreger, who is the director of Barbarian, which is a horror movie that really.
If you haven't seen and you like horror, what the fuck's wrong with you?
And don't look up anything about it if you don't know anything about it, because it's a lot more fun to watch that way. Fantastic horror movie, incredible. Lots of people are in the industry are excited about this one. It has a lot of positive buzz. They're playing it pretty close to the vest, and this trailer is just a little bit creepy.
It's not. No, Brad.
Not a little bit.
It's not a little bit creepy. This trailer, honestly, it just hits differently now that I am responsible for 2 kids. It's fucking sickening. Like that's so weird to think that that's a thing that. Again, it's not happening anywhere, but. Imagine a force is pulling kids out of their homes, but it's not being physically pulling them. It's just attracting them out. So they just take off sprinting into the darkness, and there's nothing that can stop you. And you can't see what the thing is that's beckoning them. Yeah, it's so fucking creepy.
This is such a great
way
trailer to tease because it's short, and all it does is just set the tone of creepiness because you have it shows how late it is at night, and there's voiceover talking about how they weren't like being forced out; they went out of their own free will,
their own volition. They went out.
You see them running in like black and white security footage almost through a neighborhood.
And then as they leave, the voiceover is there's like a woman saying, what does she say? I can't even remember what she says. Something about like I can't see it. The thing that they're all running at, right? Like I don't see anything. What are they running towards? Like, oh, that's so creepy.
There's some kind of viral website out there that's kind of tied to like set up like what this is a little bit about and stuff.
I love
like
when
that.
movies do this. Short trailer, very engaging. A website to go to that's going to be just as creepy and cringy.
This is what the website looks like.
Oh my god! So it's a 1997 GeoCities type thing. That's awesome. So yeah, they know what they're doing. Marketing here knows what they're doing.
I am very excited to see this. I will see it immediately.
Do you want me to read what's on the website?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I need to sleep tonight.
You'll sleep. You've been drinking.
I have not. I'm sober. How dare you?
That was the funniest thing you said all night.
Hey man, great joke. No, honestly, tonight of all the episodes we've done, I think you've been the funniest tonight. I mean that. Hey, proud of you. Nate, what do you think? Brad, pretty funny tonight?
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?